Mbongeni Buthelezi is a South African artist who has worked and created in Germany and America. Known for painting in plastic, he upcycles waste materials to create his artworks.
Hi, my name is Mbongeni Buthelezi. I'm an artist. Welcome to my studio.
His process involves turning old waste into new art, which makes strong statements about his view on life.
My love of art started when I was very young. I think I was around 9, 10 years old, maybe. I realized that perhaps maybe this is something I needed to pursue as a career, even though at the time I didn't know anyone was a professional artist for me to be able to relate to. I actually got introduced to working with recycled materials simply because when I started art at Funda College in Soweto, we didn't have resources for us to be able to really do what we wanted to do. So there was a time where we will be introduced to alternative materials like magazines, newspapers. So we were offered all these alternatives, for us to be able to really understand that art is not always about buying materials. You can actually use the little that you have for you to be able to make a very serious statement as an artist. The technique that I'm currently experimenting with is slightly different to what other fellow artists are working with, in the sense that I'm using predominantly plastics. It was a struggle when I started because it is something that I couldn't learn or emulate from anyone else. It is something that I tried so hard as an artist to make sure that I develop this thing up to a point where it starts to be recognized as a form of respectable material. And this is what I've been doing for the last 30 years. And I think it is only now the world is really beginning to acknowledge, what one has been doing for all these years.
Mbongeni's art tells important stories, often putting the spotlight on serious issues in need of attention.
For this particular work that talks about a boy or a young man in Limpopo that drowned in a toilet latrine, as an artist, I thought this is a story for me that I need to take it out there to the world to see. My work is basically about social commentary. For example, I've got this theme that I'm also currently working on, where the material informs the subject itself. I'm trying to bring up some of the beautiful creatures that we have in the sea that we also need to protect and make sure that we remove these plastics that many people are complaining about. The specific type of materials that I work with it differs sometimes. But I always prefer the softer ones. The softer quality is much better for me because it doesn't require a lot of heat for it to stick. Because I don't use glue in my work. It's only temperature that goes up to 600 degrees that I use to stick plastic onto another plastic. Another interesting thing that I think I need to mention as well is that I don't only rely on using the color that one sees from the outside. I can also use the inside part of it. That gives you two different shades. The technique that I use is a bit complicated because I actually start with the frame. After the frame, I wrap it with another plastic, which is of a different quality. In this case, it's black. So from this black, I start building up with different colors to create the image that I want to create. And that's how the process starts. I have a huge passion to work with recycled materials or waste materials because it teaches one quite a lot. And beyond that, it's some kind of contribution towards the environment where it's a way of showing other people that it could be done, without necessarily having money. At the end of the day, it is not only about the objects that I create. It is also about creating that awareness in the society to say, look, there is something that we can possibly do for us all to contribute and make that difference. Small as it might be, but at the end of the day, it is a difference. I mean, in my case, I produce work that consumes quite a number of plastics that I collect from everywhere. And at some point, I ask myself, if those plastics were not here at my studio, where would they be?
Together with Mike Klabangwane, Mbongeni was commissioned to create this artwork, stretching up the wall of the Leonardo in Sandton.
This work is actually entitled Fusion. The story here is all about trying to capture the events that we've been through as a country and as a continent. There are 8 panels that make up all this mural painting. So the bottom part here deals with the past and the history of Black Africans in South Africa. That top part deals with the police, which is also part of our history that one is not proud of. And on the other side of the artwork, there is a map of the continent that also symbolizes what is happening in the mural, just to show that it's happening within the continent of Africa. All these panels were made at the studio. We had to bring them here, and the process of installation, we had to start from the top, going down. It's not every day where one is getting these kind of opportunities, where you get commissioned for a work as big as this one, and also get some kind of assurance that your work will be on the wall as long as the building leaves. Thank you so much for coming, guys. I sincerely appreciate it. It's been a great pleasure for me to get this opportunity to be able to share some of my ideas and what I'm doing in my studio. Thank you.
By highlighting problems of waste, pollution and poverty through the materials he uses, Mbongeni Buthelezi reminds us that resourcefulness and ingenuity can create meaningful works of art. From the Capitec HQ in Stellenbosch, an idea was born to repurpose what was no longer being used and about to be thrown away into something new and exciting. The result? Creating job opportunities and empowering South Africans in need.
When we do maintenance at branches and we do upgrades of branches, we normally change these fabric cloths with new ones, or then marketing have some new campaigns sometimes, and we also then change them to the new campaigns. So we thought, what are we going to do with these fabrics? Because they're quite expensive and we don't want to just throw them away. We want to recycle. So we teamed up with the CSI department and we came up with this idea to use this material to make recycled bags.
Recycling of any product is important. And I felt that we could reuse these products, and I had a bag made for myself by somebody that was recycling, and then got the idea, but this fabric is exactly the same as what we are throwing away. We then found the ladies in Luandle. They were sewing our masks when the COVID hit us, and I gave them the fabric. We sat together, I gave them samples, and they have come up with the most amazing, beautifully made items in their home. They work from their home, and they love our wording. They're very clever with it, and every product says something to you.
We have about 8 to 10 ladies, which helps me here to do the bags. And we also have 2 gentlemen. This initiates us in a way that we're able, in the pandemic time now, we are able to have finance which will manage to buy food, and also the ladies to gather together and work together. You know, sometimes if you are indoor by yourself, you can also be in a stressful moment, but this also encourages us as we are working together. We are also encouraging one another not to give up. These bags also is materials which are being reused, so it gives us a good opportunity.
I was retrenched from work, so during that time I was like keeping busy, helping Cherry to cut the fabrics and tracing out the patterns, and then steaming of the end products. That's what I do mostly.
I started work with Charity last year for the masks. It's helping me to feed my kids or to help my family because I'm working.
I'm really enjoying this because then it's like a diverse group where we're not only speaking one language, we'll be speaking Shona and Xhosa and English. So that's what I enjoy most, like learning different languages with the ladies. And it's also a good thing that we're keeping ourselves busy.
I do enjoy it because we come together as women and we get to discuss other things more than just working. So at least there's no more stress. You get to come and talk with other people.
That's the beauty of the project. Not only do we reuse and recycle, but we also give work to the ladies that make this. And we appreciate what they do for us, because I doubt very much that you will find a shopping bag as unique as ours, or a lunch bag that'll make you smile when you put your lunch in and take your lunch out of it. What we also do is in the CSI department, we make up lunch bags, we make up pencil bags, we make up drawstring bags that we then donate to schools and to children. We did a huge back-to-school campaign in January where we asked staff to pay in money, and we then donated to schools all over the country. They each got a backpack, they each got a lunch bag and a pencil bag made from our recycled fabrics. So apart from using the fabrics, we've also used billboard material, and we made planter boxes out of them. And ITSA School uses them to show their children how to replant and how to look after and grow plants in these boxes.
I love that we took something that's old, that we've used for something, and now we're turning it into something new. It's got a new purpose. We are being kind to the environment, we are being kind to our communities, and I think that really represents what Capitec is all about. I love how creative they are. I love that one day they were a flag, today they are beautiful bags. I like that I get to go home with one, and I love that I got to do my Christmas shopping today, right in the beginning of August.
Our staff love these products. They are fun, they're practical, they're easy to use, they're easy to wash. And I think wearing a Capitec product makes you just feel different, makes you feel you're part of Capitec and part of a family.
For a chance to get your hands on this unique collection of bags, we are giving away 10 Live Better sets consisting of a shopper, lunch and computer bag to 10 lucky viewers. Simply reply to the competition post on the insidersa.co.za social media platforms using hashtag #LiveBetter. T's and C's apply and can be found on the Insider SA website.